Federal Executive Council holds special session, pays tribute to late former President Buhari's humility and service to Nigeria. Armed Forces gives periodic updates on nationwide activities, pledges to actively combat security threats. Independent National Electoral Commission receives 5 requests seeking registration as political parties extends continuous voters registration in Anambra State. Hello and welcome to the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Olajude Bello. Many thanks for joining us. Special activities in honor of the passing of Muhammadu Buhari got to the climax today as the Federal Executive Council members held an expanded special session to mourn the immediate past president. President Bola Tinubu, who chaired the special session in memory of his late political ally, renamed the University of Maiduguri after the former President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Musbah Danwaha reports.
At the end of an era, a once leader of the House would be celebrated by a new generation led by his successor, President Bola Tinubu. An unprecedented expansion session of the highest decision-making body of government came to order for the immediate past presidents who passed on. In addition to the leadership of the National Assembly, members of the immediate family of late President Muhammadu Buhari would equally witness the honor done to their late father.
We meet to honor a man whose presence.
His political ally and successor, Bola Tinubu, never lacks words to describe the late leader on a day like this.
President Buhari's life was one of austere honor. He stood always ramrod straight, unmoved by the temptation of power, unseduced by applause, and unafraid of the loneliness that often visits those who do what is right, rather than what is popular. Was a quiet courage, a righteousness that never announced itself. His patriotism was lived more in action than in words.
President Tinubu also illuminates the consistency in the life, time, and character of late Buhari.
President Buhari was not a perfect man, no leader is, but he was, in every sense of the word, a good man, a decent man, an honorable man. His record will be debated as all legacies are, but the character he brought to public life, the moral force he carried, the incorruptible standard he presented will not be forgotten. It was a life lived in full service to Nigeria and in fidelity to God.
Other leaders and members of the cabinet also had their times to account the respective sides they saw in the man Muhammadu Buhari.
A very principled man. He stood for something. And in a world where it is easy to chase deadlines, he chose instead to chase on. Where others sought glory, he sought duty. His development vision reached beyond the present and into the future. The roads, railways, and bridges he built are lasting keys to the generations yet to unfold.
A man whose life was woven into the fabric of our nation. A soldier, a patriot, a statesman, and above all, a devoted servant of the Nigerian people.
And then an appreciation from the Buhari's family.
It has showed that He was regarded far more than a politician, but regarded as a friend and a father. To all members of the Federal Executive Council, for the care and befitting state burial accorded to our late father, we appreciate you all.
The former head of state was the second Nigerian who ruled twice with his second reign as a democratic leader between May 29, 2015 and May 29, 2023. President Muhammadu Buhari, who died at 82 in London, was laid to rest this Tuesday in his hometown of Daura.
Naming of University of Maiduguri with a new name as Muhammadu Buhari University, Maiduguri.
From the State House, Muspa Wahab, NT News.
And earlier, the third day Fidal prayer for former President Muhammadu Buhari has been held in Daura. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima led the federal government delegation, joined by former Benin Republic President Thomas Boni Yayi, former Nigerian Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo, among other dignitaries.
After the burial rites of former President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, and this gathering is to further pray for the repose of his soul.
As has been said by the ulamas, prayers will continue even after this moment. So we urge you, even after you leave this place, to continue to pray. Remember in our supplications, as we are being reminded by the ulamas, so that the soul of our former president be accepted in Jannah.
Bringing together religious leaders and members of the Federal Executive Council in honor of the late Muhammadu Buhari.
We thank you, we thank Mr. President, and to the entire people across the world who have sent their condolences to the people of Katsina State, to the entire family of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. I stand here on behalf of the family, the good people of Katsina State, to thank all of you.
In the Mukaddima, Ibn Khaldun reminds us that the goal of civilization is the attainment of justice. For justice is the bond that holds human society together. It was justice, as he understood it, that President Buhari pursued, often in solitude, often misunderstood, but always with sincerity. History shall dissect his choices, of his silences, but it shall never deny his commitment. He was not a man given to play, but to death. Not to flamboyance, but to fortitude. His was a life of deliberate restraint.
President Bola Tinubu has, during the burial of the late former president, directed the vice president to not only bring the body of the former president back home from London, where he died, but also stay back and oversee the peaceful conclusion of the burial rites. From Daura, Katsina State, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
And away from the national mourning, Nigeria can strategically prepare her workforce in a competitive, rapidly evolving global economy for the future by recognizing the growing impact of automation, artificial intelligence, and other advanced technologies that are reshaping industries. Elizabeth Murray reports that this was the position of experts in key sectors of the economy at a forum on Nigeria Works 2030 to empower the youths.
Technology has significantly transformed various traditional forms of work across many sectors. For example, the traditional typist is now a virtual assistant, and smart farms are now promoting food availability. As technologists take charge, traditional job roles are being disrupted. And the question is Nigeria prepared to adapt to this global demand? One of the reasons they've gathered to analyze Nigeria's workforce vision.
We put our heads together and we put our hearts and our hands behind it. Definitely by the year 2030, we will be able to take a good number of the Nigerian workforce, into the future of work.
There has to be a marriage between automation and personnel. So we need to know, we need to get our civil servants, we need to get our public servants, the ability to effectively use the internet.
The integration of AI into the workforce presents several challenges, such as job displacement, ethical concerns, and data privacy.
Begin to prepare our young graduates right from when they get into the university on how prepared they are for the workforce. So you begin to adapt the use of collaborative tools in the classroom.
To thrive in this new era, they insist Nigeria must invest in transforming its training systems, raise awareness, create wealth to drive the economy, and upscale the workforce. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
In talking security, the armed forces of Nigeria, in collaboration with other security agencies, will continue to deploy strategies to effectively combat the contemporary threats facing the country with a view to restoring peace to all affected areas. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kangye, affirmed these are the periodic update of ongoing armed forces operations in the country. The report. Troops of Operation Delta Safe under the period of review deterred oil theft worth 291,326,400, with breakdown of 201,345 liters of stolen crude oil, 29,730 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil, 1,751 liters of dual-purpose kerosene, while 42 arrests were made. Between 10th to 16th July 2025, troops of Operation Hiding K sustained actions to deny Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists freedom of action in the Northeast region as the Joint Task Force Northeast made 11 arrests of terrorist logistics suppliers, rescued 7 kidnapped victims, and recovered a cache of ammunition. The Joint Task Force of Operation Fansanyama rescued 7 kidnapped victims and arrested 15 terrorists, while Joint Task Force Operation Safe Haven arrested 34 terrorists, rescued 8 kidnapped victims, and made significant recoveries.
We are constantly guided by our operational guidelines, Code of Conduct for Internal Security Operations, and laws of armed conflict. As the Nigerian military strategizes to conclude these operations, I urge the public to continue to cooperate with security agencies, remain vigilant, and report any suspicious activities to appropriate authority.
The Armed Forces of Nigeria says it remains resolute to discharging its constitutional duties with the highest level of professionalism. Olajide. The Nigerian Forest Security Service says its operatives have successfully rescued 2 kidnapped victims and apprehended 3 suspected kidnappers during a night operation in Okiode axis of Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State. The Deputy Commander General Intelligence John Michie confirmed the rescue and arrest while briefing newsmen on the swift and courageous response operatives of the Nigeria Forest Security Service. Confirmed that the rescue victims are safe, while the suspect has since been handed over to the Okiode Police Division for further investigation.
When they are carrying out their duties.
The Kwara State Commander NFSS and Commander Oyewole Nasruddin for the gallantry of other operatives. Michia reiterated the commitment of NFSS to work with all security agencies to rid all forests across the country of criminalities. He assured the public that the service will be able to do better with the signing into law the NFSS bill by President Bola Tinubu. The NFSS said when the bill is signed, the operatives will be empowered with modern intelligence and other security equipment that will aid their operations. This is the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Population experts are calling for stronger use of demographic data in national planning and decision-making, while including a comprehensive sexuality education and greater investment in young people to tackle the country's reproductive health challenges. These concerns were raised during a media engagement in Abuja as the National Population Commission commences activities to commemorate the 2025 World National Population Day in Nigeria. Olusheye Adiagbo reports.
With the 2025 World Population Day themed Empowering Young People to Create the Families in a Fair and Hopeful World, this year's celebration highlights the global call for a resilient world that respects individual rights and reproductive choices. In Nigeria, the observance resonates deeply as stakeholders advocate for improved population management strategies, especially in the light of the country's over 130 million young people, a demography seen as both a challenge and a powerful opportunity to achieve the demographic dividend.
We must create an environment where young people are supported, not intimidated for their fertility decisions. Let us ensure that we listen to what the young people of Nigeria really want and need.
Collaborative advocacy action plan. In that, we emphasize the importance of each civil society, even though a lot of us are doing advocacies in different areas, that it will be nice for us to be a bit more collaborative and then also cooperative in the work that we do so that we can have better outcomes.
The MPC chairman, Nasiru Isakwara, emphasized that the federal government is working on a national program designed to improve the use of population data in policy making and development planning.
Most government agencies, private sector, don't utilize data that is generated. There's no use investing so much money generating data and we don't utilize it properly. And the Commission plans to engage with policymakers to make sure the data we generate is in consonance with what they desire for the purpose of planning for the rapid development of this country.
These population experts unanimously agree that to unlock long-term prosperity, Nigerians must make strategic investments in reproductive health, education, and economic opportunities for young people. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
And accessing healthcare, education, bank services, and even owning a SIM card in Nigeria now largely depends on one number, the national identification number. But for many Nigerians, especially in the FCT, getting VAT number or correcting simple errors has become a frustrating and time-consuming ordeal. In this special report, Victor Azu brings us the voices behind the delays and response from the National Identity Management Commission.
It's just past 10 a.m., but the crowd at the NIMSI office in Abuja is already swelling. Inside, the waiting rooms are packed. Outside, people line the corridors, everyone hoping the day will be different.
30 minutes, let's be real.
Among them is Mercy Van Wyk, a Nigerian visiting from the Netherlands. Her passport is expired, but she can't renew it, at least not without a valid name. 3 weeks later, she's still here, waiting.
On Wednesday, I did the capture, actually. So when I did it, it didn't register, so I had to come on Monday here. So I came here on Monday to do the capturing, which they did. So today I came here to do the printout. It's showing error. Now I can't even get the printout, and I've overstayed here. I was meant to spend only 1 month here, but now I spent 1 month and 3 weeks, actually. And it's costing me as well.
She is not alone. Story after story of mismatched data, missing records, failed attempts paint a troubling picture. The challenges are not just stressful, they are costly. In today's Nigeria, without your NIN, almost everything stands still.
I lost my phone. I went for DICE to do welcome back. They told me NIN had network issues. So I've been coming. This is my 4th time. So up to now, nothing has been done. So I've been out of communication.
Right now, at this point, I can't apply for any job, nothing. I can't do nothing unless my NIN is active.
Inside, the staff try to manage the crowd, answer questions, and fix glitches. But the problems go deeper.
Recently, we've done expansion of our system so that it will be able to accommodate more numbers of Nigerians, and we are going to ensure that everybody is attended to. That is why we are here, and that's what we are doing.
Experts say it's not just about equipment. What's needed is more funding, better coordination, and the political will to treat identity services as a core part of national development. For a system built to include everyone, far too many are still stuck outside. The number exists, but for thousands, the real issue is getting it to work when it matters most. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended the continuous voter registration exercise in Anambra State ahead of the November 8 governorship election exercise on Sunday, July 20th. The statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olumekon, urges eligible voters to take advantage of the extension as there will be no further consideration on these. At the end of the exercise on Sunday, the Commission will display the register for claims and objections. Meanwhile, INEC has received 5 more letters of intent from associations seeking registration as political parties. This brings the number received so far to 134. The National Summit on the Future of Nigeria's Constitutional Democracy has ended in Abuja with far-reaching resolutions on the need for true federalism. Timothy Yusuf reports that actualizing constitutional democracy that works for all in Nigeria is the theme of the summit.
The summit, which opened in Abuja this Wednesday, was convened by the eminent patriots in collaboration with the Nigerian Political Summit Group, led by former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyaoku and co-chaired by Senators Gbenga Daniel and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. It seeks to replace the existing 1999 constitution with a new and people-driven framework that reflects Nigeria's diversity, aspirations and federal character. After turn-by-turn presentations on the diversity of various geopolitical zones, the time for adoption of resolutions came, but went into disagreement. Leader of the summit, Chief Emeka Anyaoku, thereafter called for a break to restore decorum.
We tend to take 2 steps at a time, believe me, we will be shut down. That's my position.
This summit would have been wasted
if we do not put forward our proposal for a better re-engineered Nigeria.
This summit should conclude on a very positive note.
Upon resumption, adoption of proposals resumed.
The summit calls for an immediate constitutional framework that will return Nigeria to a truly federal system of government, where the federating units will enjoy their autonomy as obtained in the First Republic and other genuine democracies of the world.
Why are we agreeing on a constitution? So that every group of people within the nation should feel safe, feel, protected, preserved, within the country. So what you are seeing in this hall now is that we are debating the resolutions of the conference. We expected it to be very rancorous, because those resolutions, every group is going to say, no, we didn't agree, no, this is what we want. That is the part of the dialogue that leads to democratic agreements.
The draft legislative bill for a new constitution of Nigeria is expected to be presented to the Presidency and National Assembly. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And that concludes the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.
Waiting for revenue from crude oil. Every state has something peculiar. So the emphasis now, if your local government has something peculiar to that particular local government, the emphasis should be keep producing that particular product.
We need to do three things.